Poliani. But inside the Fila Forum, the men's free skate continues. The final skater of this event, Alexander Apt of Russia, in second place after the short program. Alexei Yagudin, his countryman, is the leader right now.
He has chosen Oriental music from Armenia, Egypt, and Iran, all from various composers. Combination triple axel, triple toe loop. Wow. Not much flow coming out of the second jump, but the height on the triple axel was up to the roof. And now his quadruple toe ollie, not all the way around it.
But Chris, even though he didn't land the quad jump, we've seen Yagudin land it. We saw Plushenko nearly land it, but two-footed. You've got three Russians on the world scene who basically are landing their quad jumps.
Absolutely. If they're not doing it under pressure, they're certainly doing it the majority of the time in practice. There's triple axel. He has stepped out of it. Really starting to over-rotate with his upper body. Just cannot get squared off over his feet on these landings.
This is a young man who we first saw emerge on the scene a few years ago at Skate America when he captured a medal. But he's had his problems since then. He has spent much of the last 2.5 years away from the ice because of a knee injury, and actually was a late-minute replacement for Ilya Kulik, who was supposed to be here, but has had back problems. And Apt as surprised as anyone that he was in second place following the short program.
It really is very interesting, Terry, because in the years that I competed, an injury that would take you out of competition for 3 months, 2 months, a year or more was politically devastating. Now it's become common practice for people sometimes to take a year and a half off.
Why do you think that is?
The sport has changed a great deal. Since the elimination of the school figures, everything rests on the freestyle. And if they're not healthy, there's no show. Triple Lutz that was planned, he turned into a double. Maybe stamina is becoming a factor here. We've talked about the reputation that many of the Russians have with training and consistency. Let's see if he can keep it together for the rest of the program. Two-footed on that triple loop jump. Starting to get very weak here at the end. But a nice triple Salchow landing. He needs to involve the audience a little bit more into his performance to try and get some of that energy off of the crowd and carry him through to the finish line.
But for me, what has been so fascinating is that the top 3 men have been so different from one another.
And interestingly enough, some of them are coached by the same coach.
Yagudin and Plushenko, coached by Alexei Mishin. Alexander Apt, the only one who has a different coach.
Very wobbly there on the finish.
Well, he was in second place heading into the free skate. I'm not sure he's going to stay there, though. Plushenko, the young 15-year-old, was very impressive, and Apt had his problems.
And they had very consistent marks. Let's take a look at this quadruple toe-up. You'll see the problem. The head is really far around. His upper body is around. But the delayed reaction, the rotation coming down as opposed to all of it being completed at the top of the jump, doesn't allow his feet to come out and exit cleanly.
So Apt now awaits his marks for technical merit, and those are much lower than the other two Russians.
Absolutely. These technical marks are very low. They're indicative of people that don't come up with the goods. He's got to hit the quad. He's got to be cleaner.
Presentation marks lower as well, so he's not going to make it. He was in second place, but he drops down to third place now. And here are the final results. Alexei Yagudin wins his first European title in his third trip to this event. Yevgeny Plushenko, the 15-year-old, a silver, and Alexander Apt, a bronze, a Russian sweep in the men's competition. Still to come here at the Fila Forum, the pairs competition. Yelena Berezhnaya and Anton Sikaridlidze, one of the favorites for gold in Nagano. And Surya Bonali goes after her 6th European title in the ladies event.